Are you either a sales professional or a client success representative who is currently selling the products that the engineering team or the product management team within your organization has built? Do you ever wonder if you can get into product management, or do you think like there's no chance at all? If your answer is a yes to these questions, then you might want to hear what I say next. So stay tuned. Now let's look at the two roles, which are sales professional and a CS professionals. I'm going to combine both these roles and then look at all those 5 skills and what are the things that they already possess and should leverage. Now for both of these roles, the first skill which I'm talking about here is the research, right? So no surprises there. The research that a sales professional and a CS professional is doing is limited to just users, right? So a sales professional, they currently know the users they are selling to. CS people, they know the users they are working with. So they are basically very well versed with who the product is being sold to, what their journey is, like what are the steps that they take to accomplish a particular thing, what are the pain points they are facing, because that's what the role of CS is. They have to address those pain points. So basically they already know the users and the pain points. They also know about the competitors, because if you are a sales professional, you need to know who the competitors are, because many a times you ask those questions directly to your users. See, you're doing all the interviews, you're already speaking with the users directly, something that even a product manager doesn't get an opportunity to. So you see, this research phase is something that both sales professional and CS professionals are very versed with. Now the thing that they don't do is thinking about what features should be built. But I think since they already know what the competitive landscape look like, and when they change their viewpoint from thinking of how to sell them, and if they start thinking about what features can be built which users need, I think that research phase as a product manager and as a sales and CS professional now, so that's going to really help them. So this is something that they can definitely leverage and should leverage and showcase, is a skill that they already possess. So someone like a sales and a CS professional who understands the user always will have an upper hand, because for a product manager it's very important to understand users. Even the existing product managers sometimes are not very proficient in understanding users, whereas a sales and CS professionals are trained on that for years and years. So this is something that they should definitely leverage, that they understand the user. That is the the center point of all the decision making for the product managers. So this is something that they should definitely leverage whenever they are applying for product manager role. Like, you should be able to explain how well do you understand the target market, how well do you understand the users, because this point or a stage wherein you have to make decisions on what features do I build, etc., that you can do later. That's the secondary part. The first part is for you to be able to identify the user problem. You are doing all those things already, and something that you should definitely talk about. Now the next skill which I am referring to is documentation, right? So I think every person, every professional, they do some level of documentation in their work. So the type of documentation that sales and CS professional does is related to the users, right? Whatever pain points they are facing, whatever interactions they are having with them, whatever findings they've had, how their relationship has changed with the end users over years, and how many people within that, if it's a B2B product, how many people within that organization are involved. So they are basically documenting a lot of things. So this is a skill that anybody should leverage, and showcasing like what are the documents which you have created so far, and you should be able to talk about it, that you are really proficient in creating documents. Alright, so the next skill is execution. So this is where sales and CS professionals are going to find the most challenging, because these people have not worked with product managers, engineers on a day-to-day basis. So they basically don't know how it is done. Like, they might reach a stage wherein they have created requirements by all the research that they've done, but then converting those requirements to user stories, collaboratively working with the engineers to get the stories built and stuff like that, they have not seen that. It's completely new. So I think the best way for them is going to be leveraging an opportunity within the organization. So I've done a video before this talking about how you can transition into product manager role. So the video is above. I'm also going to link it in the description below. So would highly recommend checking that out, because sales and CS professionals are going to need that help. This is something that they automatically do not know because they do not have exposure to it. So I think they will have to, try a little harder for them to be given an opportunity to do this, to be able to execute, to be able to build the product, to be able to work with the engineers on a day-to-day basis. So I would highly recommend checking that video out, as I think it will give you ways to get that opportunity. Now the last two skills in fact, is prioritizing and being data driven. So for a sales professional, I think they are already data driven, and the reason I say they are data driven, and hence based on that they are prioritizing. So both of them are linked. So the reason I say that is because sales professional, they know which accounts they are handling, they know what problems they are facing, they know how much they are spending. So they have all of that data, right? They know what problem they are facing, and based on that they are able to pitch only that particular product to the client. So a sales professional would not pitch a product of their company to other client if they don't need it, right? So they are basically looking at all of that data. They are gathering all that data first and seeing what pain points are the users facing, are the clients facing, and based on that they are going to pitch the product. So they are already sort of well versed with this data. They are going to look at data points of not only the pain points but also how much of spend there is, who has the decision authority if it's a B2B product, and what does the the sales cycle look like, what's the budget allocated, and they're going to look at a lot of different points here, which are basically data points. Based on that, they are going to prioritize which accounts do I go after, and for that particular account which product of mine do I pitch, right? So they are already doing all of this. Now in terms of a CS professional, for the accounts that they are managing, again they are working with those clients, they already know what problems they are facing, so they are looking at the data, like they are seeing how they are interacting with the product, or they are seeing based on whatever interactions they've had with the clients before, what are the points that they have raised which they are constantly frustrated with, or points which they really feel good about because it's giving them the outcome that they needed. So you see, even they have all the data points at their disposal and they are using that, and based on that, if they are facing 3 issues, they are going to prioritize the one which is going to give them the maximum value. So you see, the prioritization and the data driven mindset is already there with the sales and CS professionals, which is something that they should leverage and they should be able to talk about when they are applying for the role of a product manager. So in short, the sales and CS professionals, they already possess a lot of the skills that a product manager needs, except execution, I think, because that's also because they have not had an opportunity to be in that space. But I think they can definitely overcome that with a couple of trial and error techniques. So I hope this has given you some perspective and this has got your mind running. Do let me know via comments on what your experiences have been or what your aspirations are when it comes to product management. Otherwise, see you all next week. Bye bye.